Yeah, traveling to US, it was an incredible experience. Now, like the whole reason why I went to US to showcase my work, to represent India and ISEF, because of our, it's all because I got qualified from IRIS, which is its own national fair in India.
If you are chosen as a education minister of India, what kind of changes would you bring to the education system for the current generation and the future generation?
I want everyone to know that these opportunities exist out there, amazing research opportunities, amazing competitions like ISEF, and that can help showcase their work. Because I know that there are people out there who are so smart, smarter than me, and who are so passionate about building stuff, but they just don't have the correct funnel to showcase that within the right.
Dear viewers, we are delighted to invite a student for this podcast as a special guest, the young, brilliant Mr. Ashwanth Sivakumar, who is joining us from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Ashwanth is a ISEF award winner, IRIS award winner, who is a founder of Genesis Chain, and there are lots of things about him, like he's an app developer, he's an AI enthusiast, and one fascinating fact about Ashwin is he's very fond of reading books, and he mentioned that he's a cinephile. So that's really interesting. We're going to ask a lot of questions to Mr. Ashwant. Ashwant, it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for accepting my invite. Welcome to the Coffee Magazine podcast. How are you
Thank
doing?
you, Vinod, for the introduction. So I've been doing great. I just finished my board exams actually, and I've just been in a 1 week holiday, vacation if you can call it, and you know, I just been exploring my other projects right now. I've just been taking a break and waiting for school to open.
Probably I should never be found by your faculty members for inviting and disturbing you at the exam time. So, anyways, Ashwant, let's start with the biggest. You received a special award from International Science and Engineering Fair, the event organized by Society for Science, Arizona, in the United States of America. I mean, this is a remarkable achievement. My question is, what was the project that got you this recognition, and how did you present this, and what kind of problem does the project which you presented solve actually?
My
Did,
project name it's called Mankav.
oh,
So Mankav basically in Tamil it means the sand predictor. That my project what it tries to solve is the increasing demand and increasing activity of unsustainable sand mining. Now in India, sand is a pretty pivotal mineral resource. Almost 50 billion tons of it is mined every year. And the
okay.
main reason why people do it is because it's used for cement. It's mainly because of rising demand for construction, right? So due to that, a lot of perpetrators they mine sand unsustainably, which destroys a lot of ecosystems. It also causes a lot of revenue losses for the government, almost $350 billion every year. And unfortunately, it also introduces a lot of debts. There's a huge sand mafia surrounding this, and that mafia, they're pretty dangerous, and there's also pretty a lot of accidents involving children falling into sand pits. So it's a pretty vast problem with so many implications in society and environment, but it's also something that's kind of hidden, something that's kind of not really open, like how much of a problem cancer is, or how much other kind of like wildfires, like how important, like how much attention they have. Now, the same kind of attention is not there yet for sand mining or like the unsustainable practice of it. So that's why my project, what I try to do is that I try to use satellite images and I try to use a machine learning model to detect where sand mining is happening so that we can provide those predictions to authorities and people who can interfere and intervene before irreversible damage occurs on these rivers where sand mining is happening. And also, I quantify the harm that mining creates so that policymakers they can use that information to create better policies and just enforce better rules.
Wow, that is really impressive. So, a lot of facts
Thank
out there, and really well done. You just merged satellite with machine language. It's really really interesting. So that's wonderful. So you how was US for the first time or second time? Did you get a chance to tour US?
So it's actually not my first time in US. I visited US before quite lot of times, and the state event, Phoenix, Arizona. That's the first time I was there, and it was during summer. It was hot. It was like every day was 103, 102. But I got used to it. Like the Chennai weather also is
Yeah.
pretty similar. But yeah, traveling to US, it was an incredible experience. Now, like the whole reason why I went to US to showcase my work, to represent India and ISEF, it's all because I got qualified from IRIS, which is its own national fair in India.
Yeah.
And the opportunity that the IRIS team, the Exemplar team, they're the ones who are in charge of creating IRIS, bringing the spark within IRIS. And they're the ones who funded and they're the ones who supported me throughout this journey. So getting to US itself, that support being shown and that kind of importance being shown to my project, it really was an amazing experience. It really brought the confidence within me and also made the whole lot of the whole journey pretty much enjoyable because how it works is that basically every year I just get something in the range of 5,000 to 6,000 people who apply for it. And out of that, they shortlist 120 people. From that 120 people, they select 30 people. And from the 30 people, they select 20 people, 20 projects to go to ISEF.
Oh,
So I was one of those 20 people. And just being with the team, just being with Team India, being with my friends, and seeing what their project is, engaging with them, and getting feedback from them. Everything was part of that journey of getting to US, and it made it pretty memorable.
that is some good, very big motivation for the young minds as well, and it's really really awesome. And when Ashwant is saying that he mentions about Iris, it's not an ordinary award. Iris National Fair is a big event, and Ashwant is a gold medalist, I should say. Ashwant, you are also founder of Genesis Chain. Now, seriously, I wanted to hear your version of the topic blockchain. Genesis chain is related with blockchain and Web3. What is blockchain? And also, I want to know everything about Genesis chain.
Blockchain for me personally is a misunderstood technology, I would say.
Okay.
People normally associate it with mostly crypto, and mostly it leads to some other dark place that people
Yes.
associate. But then for me, blockchain, even in ISEF, even one of my friends, he has created a decentralized system, which is entirely, kind of inspired from Bob blockchain. And blockchain, it has a lot of applications
Okay.
within data protocols, within data storage, within um, contracts. And those are kind of the technologies that I kind of want to emphasize within people, with the students that blockchain possesses. So that's why I created Genesis Chain to show that blockchain is not only used for crypto, it has a pretty it has pretty vast application in a lot of fields, especially when it comes to supply chains, when it comes to, again, crypto is one of the main ones. And I just want to show that blockchain can be a fundamental technology in the future. So that's why I want to create a free course, a free webinar series that I'm also planning on making it a course right now. I'm actually working on it this week. So I'm just planning to have it as a course in my website so people can view it for free, understand what blockchain processes and what they can do to join the field.
Okay. So once you start the website, please do share with us. We'll be very happy to promote the website in in all our circles. It'll be very helpful for the students. And here is a really interesting fact that I found in your LinkedIn, that you said that you're fond of reading books and fond of watching movies. Have you ever got this experience? Any faculty looking at your LinkedIn profile and coming to say, "What is this? You're watching movies in the exam time." Have you ever experienced such things?
Fortunately, no. I haven't have anyone say
Okay.
that to me. But I think for me, movies and books. Mainly like for me, movies is main kind of escape I have. Books is something that I used to mostly I read nonfiction within books, and like I just read books for learning stuff. I'm not really that fond of fiction. Like I'm not gonna lie, and I just love to see it being transformed into a movie. So I'll be honest. I'm more of a cinephile than a bibliophile. So movies also it plays a pretty pivotal role in how my
Definitely.
personality and everything is shaped.
That's very true. So, is there any one book, if I ask you, that made you realize that we have to create some kind of impact in this life? Anything like that? Any one book?
So I read Zero to One.
Okay.
So Zero to One is a pretty popular book. It's about everything from the basics, how to start a startup, what to look into,
Mm.
to building a startup, and everything that you need to consider when you're starting a venture like that. For me, reading that book kind of opened up the world, like how ISEF kind of opened up the world for me within research. That book kind of opened up a world on how startup culture is within areas within the world, especially in San Francisco and everything. So that book kind of did open that, that kind of interest, that kind of um, path for me.
Eh? Wow, wow. Okay. So let's talk about your background for a moment. Listening to your accent, I think you're born in United States. And
Yeah, you found it. Yeah. I
yes,
mean, I was born there, but then I immediately moved back to Chennai. So Tamil is for me is also something that's deeply rooted. Like my family again, they come from a village called Vaduguseri. We also we've been to a lot of villages. And we engage with them. So for me, I'll kind of like define my identity as someone who's deeply rooted with the Tamil, but also kind of wants to progress that culture, to showcase that culture within other Western worlds out there.
listen. And as a young person, you're very much interested to volunteer for social causes, which is a very great thing. And like I mentioned, you won so many awards. You also developed an application. So can you give me a glimpse of what does that application do?
So for me, the application, like I've done a few, mainly it's websites that I built. One is for Genesis Chain again. I'm trying to show it as a course. I've done like in my early days, like in eighth and ninth grade, I have worked with a few student-led organizations to create apps. And for me, I started with building applications, building websites, building apps. But then that slowly kind of transformed into a deeper interest within AI. And when I discovered AI, it was like I was like in 10th grade, and that kind of changed the course for me. I started focusing more on AI applications, and that's where it came. Like Moncal, it uses XGBoost, which is a pretty popular machine learning model. I worked with NLP, like which natural language processing models to detect fake news. Then I mean, I know a lot of other models, but I haven't really applied a lot of that.
All right.
And I'm also, for me, applications is mainly right now, I'm just focusing on research.
Hmm.
And when it comes to research, that's the kind of application that I'm deeply passionate about. It has kind of transformed from app building to building research projects like Mantkaval. And that's the kind of growth I also like to see within students because for me, research was something that I kind of discovered late. I would say like within I'm going to start 12th grade. So I kind of discovered it and probably started doing it in the middle of 11th grade. So having that experience of doing a research project like Mount Cowell and doing another research project, which I'm currently working on right now, that involves, like, I don't want to get too much into that. But
Yes,
then
yes.
the thing is that,
We will keep it secret also. Yes.
yeah. So the thing that I would like to emphasize is that growth is what matters at the end of the day. And growth, it doesn't have to do research, but then just seeing yourself kind of grow into a much more niche and much more broad and competitive field like AI and research. That's the kind of growth that is gonna reward yourself at the end of the day, because it's gonna bring yourself out to that world, and it's gonna really show how much you're worth.
So, Ashwant, this may be like a generic question, but it's actually a very important question, especially I wanted to ask you. So, I'm going to make it a little imaginary, but anything is possible in the future. So, the question is, if you are chosen as a education minister of India, what kind of changes would you bring to the education system for the current generation and the future generation?
So currently, holistic development is something that, of course, the education minister, education department of India is looking into. I think from 2027 onwards, they'll be introducing a lot more within the CBSE curriculum. Like they're going to introduce job skills, they're going to introduce AI, and those are amazing implementations. But then currently, I'm in an international school. I used to study in CBSE till eighth grade, but I moved from that to international school. For me, one what I would like to do as education minister is to kind of bridge the gap between some schools. For me, good example would be is for me, I've almost taken granted or what smart boards are capable of. In eighth grade, like in my old school, there wasn't really smart boards. There was just projectors. But when I moved to the international school, there were smart boards, and I was really fascinated. I was really amazed what it was able to do and how easy teachers were able to communicate their materials with that. And for me, like I like my family, we come from a village called Vadagucheri, and there's this government school over there, and they don't have that kind of resource. They don't have that smart board that teachers can use to effectively convey their materials. So number one, I would try to bridge that gap, see if I could help install those kind of smart monitors within schools, and also help train teachers to utilize them as effectively as possible within this AI era. That's one of the implementations I would do. Number two, I would like to also bring in, for me, research is something that's pretty daunting at first. Students can feel it might be a little bit complicated, it might be not up to, it's too much to do for them. So I would like to try to bring a little bit of a research curriculum within schools, like how students can start doing research if they're interested, how they can start looking for ideas, and just try to have them build something. Because India, there's a lot of engineers over here. There's a lot of people who like to build, and bringing that kind of training, bring that kind of enthusiasm within students to build something, to create something, and to integrate things is something that will last within them for a long time, and that's going to stick with them, right? So maybe like having a capstone project being done at the end of the day. I think in the IB curriculum they do have a few kind of programs over there where they have to do a research paper, where they have to do a project or something. So I kind of like also want to see that to be integrated within the matriculation and CBSE curriculums, so that students are more ready to enter the larger world at the end of the day, because world needs builders. I mean, there are also other jobs, but then builders and creative people, at the end of the day, they're the ones who are going to progress the world, right? So that's what I feel I would integrate. I would first install smart boards, and I would try to either have a research program or any kind of caption project to be integrated at the end of the curriculum.
That's a fantastic initiative. Great ideas, whichever you gave, and definitely every country should implement it, not only in India. We'll be able to find great minds out. And thank you so much for sharing that. And Ashwant, you are also founder of an NGO initiative called Pudhiya Shakti. Now it's a student-led NGO for raising awareness and promoting sustainable energy in rural India. So that's very, very good thing. So my question to you is, what is your view about the sustainability status of India? So what is your plan for Buddhiya Shakti?
Now, India is a growing country. Again, there's a lot of population, there's a lot of people, and sustainability is being brought in. It's growing in India, I would say. Like within Tamil Nadu, I've seen people like for the Shakti. What we have done is we installed a biodigester within a village in Chengalpattu. So that biodigester, it has been utilized by a family in their land, and I've seen it being very helpful for them. Normally, what they struggle with is to for cooking, right? They need a cylinder gas, and to bring cylinders to their kind of home, it takes I think it's 10 kilometer
Yeah.
drive. So having the biodigester is not only sustainable, but they actually have a means of gas that they can use to cook, to bring tea, to bring water to boil, and etc. So sustainability is not something to be seen as a chore, but I think it's something to be seen as an efficient, as a way to make things efficient, not only to help save the world, I mean, to help make our earth greener, but also just help make our lives more efficient. And then because we have lived a world where sometimes we haven't taken into appreciation of what we have. And in India, I think it's time. Like it's already starting, I would say. There are a few startups which I know that are working on building solar panels, and it's just a field that's growing in India that is kind of expanding, and it's definitely gonna make a lot of impact within Europe.
Yes. Provided we have so much sunlight in India, so definitely solar panels has to be installed, and it's a very good alternative. That's a really good initiative. By the way, Pudya Shakti means new energy. It's a Tamil word, and when I watched your video about you getting award in ISEF in Phoenix, Arizona. So when you were walking out, you were so happy. You are almost cheering the entire crowd out there. So what I just thought is there are many students like you who is having a great ideas, but they are hesitant to come forward. They are afraid of failures, they are afraid of rejections, setbacks. So what advice would you give for such people who is waiting for the right time or to just come forward and achieve whatever they like? Any advice, please?
I'll give an anecdote actually. I'll talk about my journey just like a little bit. And for me, I started working on my project like I would say 2.5 weeks before deadline.
Okay.
For me, I started figure out what I was working on, what my idea is. So if you have a good idea, at the end of the day, time is going to be important. For me, I was working on the clock. I was trying to try to do as much research as possible within those 2 days and make it as quality as possible and submit to the first round of IRS. So the kind of advice I would give to students who are passionate about research, who are interested in entering this field is just find a good idea. Find something that's, when I say good, I don't mean like it's the most like I don't talk about cancer, like curing cancer or anything like that. I'm talking about something that you're passionate about, something that you're deeply interested in solving, and something that's going to impact the world a lot. Because at the end of the day, doing research, the main kind of I feel like personally, I feel like the main kind of objective with research is to make a world a better place, right? And I made a lot of mistakes while trying to enter the field of research with Mankawal, and learning from those mistakes is what's going to make you a researcher. It's going to be a constant trial and error. It's going to be something that you have to keep pushing through. And in the end, you'll see a project, you'll see um, a child that you you helped raise, kind of like that. So first, if you're going to want to do research, find a problem that you're deeply passionate about trying to solve. After that, it's going to be important that you keep track of your research. Doing research, it can be long, it can be short, it varies from person to person. But documenting what you have done, seeing if you've done it ethically and seeing if you've done it fairly, that's what's going to make your research stand out, and that's what's going to produce quality research. Documentation is going to be pretty important. That's one of the mistakes that I did. I didn't properly document what I did. I didn't keep track of what I did, so I just kept sometimes losing focus of what I did previously, and that just kind of made it more inefficient for me. So documenting what you do, we call it a research plan and we call it a research document. You just kind of just in a research notebook, you just take down small notes of what you've done this day. You just log it into your notebook. And once you're representing yourself in competitions like ISEF, or you're trying to draft up a paper, you can just go through those notebooks and you can just see where you started and what kind of mistakes you did, so that you can showcase it in your work, because you don't want to hide your mistakes, right? Making mistakes is what's going to make you human.
Yeah.
And if you are going to hide your mistake, it's going to seem like your project might be a bit superficial, because nobody is perfect. So you just kind of also want to show that you made this mistake and you reiterated on that. So just make sure that you're as honest as possible. Don't try to cut corners, or don't try to um, do anything that's unethical within the research world. That's the main thing I would say. And just don't be shy also if you want help. For me, I had a lot of people who helped me. My sister, a person called Ritik, he was also an IRIS finalist in 2024. So I reached out to him. I reached out to my sister. I reached out to a few people working in my space. One of them is called India Sandwich. They're the ones who provided data for me to train my model. So reaching out to those people, getting feedback from them is going to be pivotal in your research, because it might seem like what you've done is good for you, like this is good enough. That's what you might feel. But when you compare yourself, when you get feedback from people who are in your field, who are your peers, that's when you start improving. That's when you start really making your research stand out and produce some high quality work.
Okay, superb. So, guys, I've given the LinkedIn in the video description, and also recently, Ashwanth has reposted a post from Mr. Ritik as well. You can just find everything in the LinkedIn. Uh, Ashwanth, you are an AI enthusiast, so I'm going to keep this question very short. So, what's so fascinating about AI to you?
Again, AI is like a child. You're gonna have to teach it. You're gonna have to see it grow, and you're gonna have to see it do amazing stuff. For me, when I entered AI, it was pretty much of a what we call of a black box. Now, what a black box means in the AI field is it's not understandable. It's not transparent. That's what it basically means. So seeing AI, especially right now with the craze of LLMs, with the craze that generative models have, it's pretty important that you understand them also. And for me, that's what I feel is fascinating for me.
Okay.
Understanding how these models work, how they operate, and how they kind of make the impact that they're making within the world. That's a pretty fascinating stuff for me. Building AI, training models, testing them, it's all again amazing. But at the end of the day, for me, transparency is what's kind of fascinating for me within models. Seeing how they work on the inside, seeing how the gears turn, and just having it produce a result. That feels like magic after you've gone through so many iterations, so many mistakes, so many miss outputs. It's pretty rewarding. And that's what made me fell in love with AI.
Okay, awesome. So, guys, when we talk about AI, there is a conversation by Emily Chang with Anthropic's co-founder. That's a wonderful podcast you have to watch, and it's going to give a lot of insights about the AI tool Claude, as well as a lot of interesting facts about future of AI. Anyways, thank you so much for all those insights, Ashwant. So imagine we are going to invite you back to the podcast after 10 years. What would you like to have achieved, accomplished in those days? I mean, in this timeline.
For me, I want to bring the opportunity of research in there. Um, when I said within everybody, I mean people who are deeply passionate about research but don't know where to start, don't have the opportunity to showcase a project. And that's like the main reason for me. I'm building a startup called Spark Research India.
Okay.
Now, SRI for short. Now, what I'm planning, what me and my co-founder are planning for SRI is to help mentor students within backgrounds within backgrounds which are not really exposed to opportunities like IRIS and ISEF. And for me, I didn't know that ISEF existed about 6 months ago, and that was like kind of a crime, not gonna lie. And I don't want that to happen to everybody else. I want everyone to know that these opportunities exist out there, amazing research opportunities, amazing competitions like ISEF, and that can help showcase their work. Because I know that there are people out there who are so smarter than me, and who are so passionate about building stuff, but they just don't have the correct funnel to showcase that within the right stage. So I would like to help. I would want to build a startup into something that's big enough nationally to uplift students from maybe rural backgrounds, uplift students from backgrounds which they are not familiar of these competitions, so that we can have a much more richer representation from all around the nation, from all states, from all kind of backgrounds, because we need that diversity within the space of research. This diversity is what's gonna help build creative and unique ideas that and unique approaches that has not been implemented before within any problem. Because for me, like with Mankaul itself, the way I kind of formulated my idea was like, that my like the problem of sand mining is within my village today. There's a lot of sand quarries over there, and my sister, she was also working with satellite imagery then, and I'm interested in AI. So these kind of diverse interests, these kind of diverse backgrounds, I was just able to integrate that within to create a project like this that can have a huge impact to the world. So I kind of want to help bring students like that who have different backgrounds, who have different ideas, they can formulate that into a very useful, very impactful research project, and help showcase a project to a world, to a stage where it's really appreciated and it's shown the care that it deserves for.
Okay. If some students who's watching this podcast want to be a part of Spark Research in India, can they follow you on LinkedIn? Every detail, in the future, you'll keep it
Of
posted.
course,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You
We
also
have
said
an Instagram
a
page. You
website
can
is
just search.
coming, right?
Yes, we have a website too. And you
Yeah.
can just search us Spark Research India in Google, in Instagram. We're currently setting up everything right now. We're still in the growth phase. So we're just currently setting up the LinkedIn, the Instagram, the YouTube, the website, and whatever else is necessary. So if you are interested, if you want to help bring these students, or if you know anyone who needs these kind of opportunities, we can let them know. We provide scholarships. We provide our mentorship program for a feasible fee. Currently out there, all these kind of research programs, they cost lakhs, a lot of lakhs, and we are trying to provide that within the 10 to 20, like within 20 and 30K range. And we want to make it as quality as impactful as possible, while also keeping it cheap and accessible for anybody to join. So if you need that kind of support, or if you know anyone that kind of needs support, or if you want to help our cause, you can just reach out to me in LinkedIn. You can just reach out to me anywhere you can find me, Instagram, WhatsApp. Um, you can just let me know. I would like to have a conversation with you, and you can let me know your ideas as well.
That's fantastic. Guys, there you go. You know everything now, and I'm going to get all the details for you and put it in the video description. Ashwant, that is an amazing conversation. At this age, many students are still discovering their interest. You already distinguished yourself as an innovator, researcher, founder. I mean, you achieved so many things, also a change maker. So, this only tells one thing, that age is not a barrier for anything or for creating a meaningful impact. You already represent a generation that is not only preparing for the future, but already creating it. From our entire Vinz media team, we offer you full wishes for creating a positive change in the communities around the world. Any help, we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much for being here. Take care and good evening.
And thank you so much, Vinod. And thank you for the opportunity. I mean, your podcast, it's pretty great. I love what you're doing.
Thank you
So
so much.
amazing meeting you. And again, if you, for the viewers, if you need any help, if you want to talk to me, just feel free. I'm open and my DMs are open. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Catch you in the next episode. See you.